children in the ages that I work with of 5 and 6 years old, it was remarkable to see that they already have those components of kindness and empathy and compassion. They just didn't have the words to name that. We even had one activity where we role-played a homeless person on the side of the street, and some of the things that the students came up with were very powerful. I had one student who wanted to buy houses for all the people, and one of the students who was acting out the homeless person didn't want the house, but he wanted the student to buy houses for all his friends. So then they pretended that they went to a homeless shelter, and the little girl just went along to all the students role-playing those homeless people, and she offered to buy all of them homes.
The Compassion Project was originally done in this way in my hometown in La Crosse, Wisconsin, where I saw it. And essentially they had taught K-12 kids about compassion, what it meant, what it looked like, how to recognize it, how to practice it, why it's important. And every single kid that took part in that curriculum then created a 6x6 canvas about either a time that they felt someone was compassionate towards them, or they were compassionate towards someone else, or their wish for the world. It could also be about self-compassion.
We're bringing them all together into a mosaic-like art exhibit that will be at 5 different locations in Bozeman, up for about 3 months. The largest bulk of them are the Emerson Center for Arts and Culture in the upstairs and the West Wing, the Bozeman Public Library, Sola Cafe, Red Tractor Pizza, and Fork and Spoon Community Cafe. And then also with each piece, there'll be a tag in the bottom right-hand corner with a number. That number you can type into a free downloadable app, which you'll find by just searching the Compassion Project and looking for our logo. You type in the number corresponding with the piece that you want to learn about, and up will pop an artist statement, which is a sentence to a paragraph written by the artist of that piece, just telling you about their piece or about their view of compassion.
We now have raised over $50,000 for the project. We have been in every single school in the kind of greater Bozeman area.
We'd love to reveal some of the value of the arts and what they can do to bring people together, to give people a voice, to bring out our flaws and our imperfections and be vulnerable with that, and also just unlock all the creativity that not only kids but adults, like I don't care if you're 8 or 88, you're creative, and you should be given the tools to be creative, to express yourself.
We've created our own kind of grassroots curriculum that aligns with Montana Core standards, National Guidance Counselor standards, and National Arts standards.
We've taken the original curriculum and been able to tailor it to multiple groups as well. So in that way we've seen growth and a lot of adaptability, and I think we'll see that even more going forward as we bring in more resources and more facilitators, more experts in this work.
It doesn't talk about what not to do. It doesn't tell you no. It doesn't tell you this kind of deficit model of why you shouldn't be doing things. Instead, it talks about what should you do, how to be compassionate, how to be kind to other people, why that's important, how to do it, how to recognize it, and kind of how to live your life in a compassionate way.
I feel like it's a success if someone walks out and they have the reaction of, wow, that was new, or I learned something about myself, or I'd never picked up a paintbrush before, and so that was scary, but now I know that I can be creative and I have this creative side to me, because I do believe that humans innately are extremely creative, but through life we can get boxed, right? We can get put into, this is my identity, and it includes creativity or it doesn't. But I believe that we all are creative in one way or another, and so this is just one way of tapping into that and maybe unlocking some potential there.
in these conversations, it's about talking about values instead of talking about positions. And I think oftentimes we talk about our positions and we don't think about where that common ground is that might bring us together. We might not agree on everything or how we go about things, but at least maybe we can understand where the other person is coming from. And I feel like that can maybe start to kind of heal that divide that is currently in our society right now.
If we start with compassion, I think when we go to those hard places, it'll be safer, right? It'll be less name calling, less feeling like I'm not being listened to or I'm being insulted or I'm not understood, right? So it's not a matter of avoiding the negative, I think. It's a matter of how are we going to approach it. So if we can bring down those walls, get to a place of understanding and safety, we can tackle those negative things with a more positive outlook on it.
I think that the impact that it's made and the parents that I've talked to that have talked about their kids doing the project and the teachers that have been doing it in their classroom has just been phenomenal.
I think that the students realize that it takes more than just feeling for somebody, but actually acting on it and maybe even being proactive and looking out for ways that their actions or words might affect somebody and how they can help have positive impacts on other students.
Compassion is that next level and having the energy behind it and the force to really, feel for somebody, but then also help them out. Help out your neighbor, help out your friend. Think about doing something for a worthy cause. So I think it's really important in this day and age to continue talking about it and to get it in people's minds and in our children's minds too, because then they grow up and they have compassion and are acting on compassion.
We have the most incredible volunteers ever. I'll just start with that.
They're incredible people, and they wouldn't be involved unless they truly believed in the project and in this concept of compassion and in this concept of wanting to change the world from a grassroots effort. It's been awesome to see who is still involved and the new people that come in every week and say, yes, I'll give 2 hours to pound nails on blocks or to organize things. And it's people that, it's not that I wouldn't expect them to come and help, it's just that I just am amazed by the rallying around this project in our community and how much support we've gotten for it. And watching the people that have kind of grown with the project has been very rewarding.
I mean, I used to help people around, but being in Compassion Project, I've started doing it more often, and that's why I actually switched from STEM to education, because I actually like being around people and helping them out.
And compassion is helping others when they need you and not ignoring people and being kind.
I think if you ask anybody and say, are you compassionate or do you have compassion? Most people will be like, yeah, I do. But it's one of those things where if you don't talk about it, you actually aren't acting on it. So the more you talk about it, the more it's present in people's minds, the more you actually do act on it.
Our model is not to go in and fix a community. Our model is to provide resources and support and empower a community in any way we can, given what we've learned from this project. And so this project will look very different, I think, from community to community, but we can still come together around this idea of compassion.
Our mantra from the very beginning has been compassion is for everyone, and so moving forward I want to make sure that we are committed to that idea of compassion is for everyone.
Based on the responses we're getting from teachers and parents, educators, community leaders, we'd love to be able to expand our reach and offer it to anyone who's interested, whether that be communities across Montana. We've had interest from Billings and Great Falls, for example, as well as outside of Montana, and even consider international partnerships one day.
Without a doubt, this project has changed my life.
I would love to write a book about the last 2.5 years of my life in this project and what I've learned about compassion and about community and about nonprofit kind of management and all of those things kind of intertwined. I think there was no way for me to know exactly what it was going to do for my life and how much it would impact me in a really positive way. We're very, very thankful for all of the incredible support that we've had both in the Bozeman and Gallatin area, but also beyond that. Without all of our incredible sponsors and donors, either in kind or actual monetary support, we're incredibly thankful, and we wouldn't be where we are right now at this installation process without them.
Spread compassion, spread happiness, help as much as you can to everyone whom you see around. Forget your differences and set them aside, and we make them happy and be happy.